start. And if you want to share it, you post it with the hashtag I provide and hashtag Transmundane Tuesdays. We will look at the hashtag and marvel at each other's work. I post a few that I especially love in my stories. You are, of course, invited to do the same. There's no deadline. Personally, I try to do them on Tuesdays or at least Wednesdays, but sometimes I get to them days or even weeks later. Today, I have a work deadline at the end of the day, so I won't be drawing with you all, but maybe tomorrow. These prompts are for everybody. People who always draw, people who never draw, and everyone in between. If you fall into the never drawing category, give it a shot and think of it as a meditation. Be uninvested in the outcome. Just try to relax and watch your hand attempt to do your mind's work. So then I provide these hashtags, and here is the one specific to this prompt. If I click on it, I go here, and we can see that these are all characters that are wearing big hats, smoking a pipe with the tail of a serpent. So they're kind of wonderful to go through. They're, of course, totally different. Totally different mediums, totally different approaches. There's lots of them. This one's mine. This is ballpoint pen. I usually actually use this as an opportunity to do something a little different every time, because I find that I use the same mediums all the time for work, and it's nice to have a reason to experiment with other ones and to try to get better at them. People process work. And they're just kind of all over the place. So that's one. Here's another one. Carrying a baby, wearing a checkered suit, has the head of a frog. So this one's mine. If I scroll up, I can find the hashtag. And here are some more. So every Tuesday I do this. I don't have you guys on the grid view anymore, so I can't see you, but do some of you guys, I can hear you. Do some of you guys do this? Have some of you done it before, or have you heard of it before? Or are you coming to it totally blind? Silence. I love this one. So yeah, every Tuesday. And so we are going to participate in this today, though, of course, sharing your work on Instagram is completely optional. You don't have to. But if you want to, I'm going to draw 3 different sets of prompts for you guys to draw today. And if, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Hi, okay, I'm back. I can see you guys again. And then one of these I'm actually going to post on Instagram for everybody else to draw, and we can do 3 sketches and then a more finished one. Sorry, I got distracted. So, do you guys remember the prompts that you have for this first drawing? Is camouflaged, mailing a letter, wearing big pants. So together we're going to do a quick sketch of this. Just a sketch. Maybe something that takes us 10 minutes. Does that sound good? I'll set a timer. And I'm actually going to tilt my computer up and see if maybe you guys can. That's going to work. So I'm going to be drawing 2 with you guys. This camouflaged creature in big pants mailing a letter. And if anybody else wants to share what they're working on afterwards, let's all draw for 10 minutes And in 10 minutes, anybody who wants to share their sketch can share. Does that sound good? Thumbs up?
Yep.
Okay, great. And then also, if anybody has any questions or anything, since we're all just going to be sitting around drawing, I'm happy to answer them. I think maybe Haley can, I don't know where my little chat screen went. Here it is. Oh, someone's in the UK. Oh, you're welcome for getting up early. Oh, there you all are. Okay. So if anybody has any questions for me while we're all drawing for the next 10 minutes, feel free to ask them in the chat. I'll look up and check, and I can answer them. I'm setting a timer now. Get sketching. So I'm starting with really big pants. I made these prompts. There are about 90 of them, and I made them, you know, months ago, and I've been using them a lot. And so I realized that they were getting redundant. So yesterday I made some new ones. And one of the new ones, sometimes I make them, and then when I actually draw them, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. That's so hard or annoying to draw. And one of the new ones is camouflaged. And I'm like, that's hard. I wish I hadn't made that one. Because not only do you have to draw the person, you have to draw this thing that it's camouflaging to. Oh, here's a question. Hi, Carson. I'm in Amsterdam. Unfortunately, no time to draw along because of own deadline, but here for fun. You said you use the same medium a lot. What would be your favorite? So my favorite medium is gouache, which I actually have here because I'm going to maybe use it a little later, which is a lot like watercolor. It looks like this. It's water soluble, so you reconstitute it by adding water, much like watercolor. But unlike watercolor, it is translucent. Like watercolor, it's translucent if you add water. Unlike watercolor, if you don't add a lot of water, it can be very opaque, so you can use it in a painterly way. And you can almost even use it like an acrylic. You can sort of blend and paint with it in a way that watercolor can't. Watercolor can only really be translucent. It doesn't really work as an opaque paint. Some people use it that way, but it doesn't work as well. So I use gouache for most of my illustration work, and I sometimes use ink and a nib pen to add details after. And when I do pen and ink, I use a nib pen like this. But I don't do as much pen and ink. It's unwieldy. I like pencil. Especially because most stuff I'm fixing up on in Photoshop anyway, if it's black and white work, and I find that pencil can look really great if you put it into Photoshop and kind of adjust the contrast and stuff. How are you guys doing? Good? Mailing a letter at least feels kind of timely because I feel like some people are writing letters right now who wouldn't before. Someone was just telling me he got 2 letters in the mail in the past week and he hasn't had a letter in like 5 years. So that's kind of cool. Maybe another silver lining of this. I also have, so I'm going to do this with you guys this morning, and then I have another workshop for University of Central Florida students at, I think it's at 2 your time. And that is to make a puzzle purse, which is like this elaborately folded Victorian, it's sort of like people used it, it's sort of like a cootie catcher, if you know what those are, except nicer, more involved. And you can make this really beautiful illustrated little love note or anything you want on it and send it to someone. So I'll be showing anybody who would like to find out how to make one of those, how to make them this afternoon. And maybe now is the time for us all to make beautiful, illustrated, elaborately folded love letters for our friends and sweethearts and to send them in the mail. When you can't get out of your house, getting good stuff in the mail is like the best thing ever. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't really know how to do the camouflage part. I will be interested to see your solutions. Oh, wait, I know how. All right, you guys, you have 2.5 minutes to finish up. Well, the sun just started streaming in here at my studio. It was like dark and murky until 2 minutes ago. Oh, that's it. The time's up. Okay. How did you guys do? Does anybody out there want to share what they drew? You just hold it up. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Big pants. Yes. That's, I wonder if I could put on, hey, Haley, if I put it on speaker view, does that mean it'll turn to the person who's talking?
Yes. So each individual person can choose that, and then it will show that up like that.
Okay, well, I'm going to choose it.
Yeah.
So I can see. Okay, Katya, do you want to tell us about yours? Can I see it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, so sweet.
I love that.
Just like a kid who took the parents' trousers. The camouflage is about the flowers on
That's
it.
so cute.
Yeah.
She's very sweet.
Thanks.
I was excited about that letter. Okay, who else will share? Hold on one sec. All right, hold up your picture if you'll share. Rachel. Oh, she's muted.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay. So just he's holding all his envelopes inside his big pants.
Right. It's a very weird postal carrier. I love that. That's beautiful. Anybody else? Anyone feeling brave? Haley Winston?
Yeah, so I kind of got inspired by, I thought about big pants. My dad grew up on a farm, and they'd always make him wear his brother's pants, so he had to like roll them up. So I just rolled them up. But mine's like a little frog, and he's camouflaged by these.
Oh, because yeah, that's a good solution to the camouflage problem. The camouflage thing was hard. I was like loath to do that. That prompt may get the axe. It's like whenever I get one and I'm like, I don't want to draw that, I just throw the prompt in the garbage. Helen, let's see yours. Let me unmute you. Did it work? Let's see.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I love that.
It's somebody becoming a post box in the UK, camouflaging. And they have like a strange top to the post box in the UK. So I thought she could wear a red beret and red, almost like a spy.
Yeah, you could color that in and then it'll look super camouflaged. It'll drive the idea home. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what did you guys think? Does anybody want to share how they felt about that experience? Was it horrible? Was it fun? Someone shook their head like no, but I don't know if it was like no, it wasn't fun, or no, it wasn't horrible.
No, it wasn't horrible.
Okay, good.
Not saying no, it wasn't fun. It was good. I liked it.
Excellent. Okay, so we're going to do it again. We're going to do it a second time. Another 10-minute sketch. We're going to draw 3 more prompts. So let's see what we've got. Oh, here's mine. Kind of hard to see with that sun shining through, but she is a lady in really big pants, and they're camouflaged with the garden that's kind of behind her. She's a big lady with big pants and a very small litter. Okay. Here's the next prompt. Wearing shoes with buckles. That had a cat hair on it. is canine. So you can do with that whatever you will. And the last one is carrying flowers. So shoes with buckles is canine, carrying flowers. Okay, let's draw again for 10 minutes. And I think the idea will be that after we've done 3 sketches, we'll choose one of them and we'll either redraw it and flesh it out, give it a back, or like case of the camouflaged post box person, maybe just adding color to an existing sketch and finishing it. It'll be up to you guys. Is canine wearing shoes with buckles, carrying flowers? I'm going to tilt my screen up again. And again, if anyone has any questions or any observations, or even just wants to talk about anything, they are welcome to. I think I might move, I've got this big ray of sun here, I might move out of the sun a little. Let's see. You know what's funny, you guys, is I don't know that I've ever been in my studio this early in the morning. Usually start work at like 9, but that's like noon your time. And it's actually really beautiful. I've never been in here when the sun starts to stream in through the windows. All right, that's a little better. Okay, shoes with buckles. So are all you guys people with regular drawing practices? Is there anybody here today who just like never ever draws, but they're just going for it? Awesome. That's amazing. Yay, that's so cool. That makes me so happy. It's not an easy thing to draw if it's something you don't usually do. It's easy for kids, but I find that most adults who don't draw regularly have a kind of block around it, which makes sense. I have a similar block around music stuff because I don't play music, and it sort of feels like sometimes I feel like, why do it if you don't know how? But as with drawing, when I do it, if I sit down and like play the drums in my husband's studio or sing with him, I realize, oh, you do it because it feels amazing, not because the only thing that you get out of it is to make amazing music. It's actually the act of making music is wonderful and I think helpful for the soul. Drawing's the same way. And I'm seeing, I think a lot of people are drawing during this lockdown kind of quarantine period who weren't before, including both of my sisters. I have a sister-in-law and an actual sister, and they're both drawing more, but they're not people who normally draw. And my sister-in-law especially has been drawing all the time, and she's so good. She's like this real knack for it. And like with anything, it's just a muscle that needs exercising. And I feel like if she exercised it, she would have this amazing drawing practice. I'm drawing a dog-headed person who is proposing to someone else. I'm an unknown species because they're sort of off camera over here. Okay, you have 3 more minutes. Whenever I have a little extra time doing this, I just add wrinkles to the clothing. Good. Good way to add detail to something. I also feel like this dog should have a hat with a giant feather, probably. Mm-hmm. Okay, you have about 30 seconds to wrap up. Okay, that's the timer. Here's my dog, maybe like proposing to someone or something, professing his love to some other person somewhere over here. How'd you guys do? Thumbs up, thumbs down, medium, so-so. Does anybody want to share? Okay, let's see. Gayla?
Hey, hi.
Hi.
I wanted the dog to be like picking flowers
Uh-huh.
because it's, springtime. And then, yeah, my sister just got a puppy, so I attempted to draw that puppy.
That's really sweet. You should totally put that in the mail and send it to your sister.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Where's your sister at? Is she far away or is she near you?
No, she's far away. She's in California.
Oh, you should send it to her.
Yeah.
That's cute. That's sweet. All right. Anybody else want to share? Anybody feeling brave? Rachel, let's see. Let's see. Oh, good. That's a lot of detail.
They're just holding on their back like a package full of flowers. They have a
Yeah.
little dog tail.
That's really sweet. Nice and simple. I like a small drawing like that with a lot of detail. Anybody else feeling brave? Haley, let's see.
So actually, mine's a little morbid. My dog is laying flowers on a grave, but
It's cool.
he looks happy about it.
I know. I
And
like
he's
it.
remembering good things.
The concept is very goth, but the dog is very adorable. Okay, what do you guys think? Should we do it just one more time? Are you game? Everybody seems a little like maybe. Let's do it one more time. The last one we'll do quicker. We'll do 5 minutes. Okay? A 5-minute sketch.
That's really fast.
What's that? Okay, then we'll decide which set of prompts is the best one. You guys can help me decide. Maybe afterwards, after we've drawn them all, we'll figure out which was the most fun to draw, and then I'll post it. Okay, let's see. First one. This part is always really exciting to me, even after all these months, just seeing what the combination is going to be. Oh, this is a hard one. Okay. Is cloud-like has very long hair. Wearing an apron. Is cloud-like, has very long hair, wearing an apron. 5 minutes.
Is that cloud-like or clown-like?
Cloud-like, like a cloud in the sky.
Okay.
Yeah, which is hard. I'm not really sure how to draw that one.
Sorry,
Especially the apron.
and what was the last one?
Is wearing an apron.
Apron. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. An apron, very long hair, and cloud-like. I just do not even know, but I only have 5 minutes to figure it out, so it's fine. Whatever it is in 5 minutes is whatever it is. Okay, 2 minutes. I really hate this one. Just by the way. Oh, how do you come up with the prompts, Carson? Sorry, I didn't see there was a question there. I just rack my brain for ideas. So I came up with a bunch of new prompts yesterday. And some categories are harder than others. The mundane category, which is just like, you know, playing a flute, has very long hair. That's really easy. I just look around me and think of things that people do and features that people have. There are infinite possibilities. The hardest one is the transmundane thing, like, is cloud like? I find I keep coming up with the same ideas over and over again, like, has the head of a dog. I'm like, oh, I've already done that. Is half fish. I've already done that. Flies. I've already done that. Okay, that's the timer. So that's how I come up with them, just by racking my brain and kind of looking around me and trying to get inspired by whatever is in the world. And sometimes looking around at books in my studio and stuff too. This is my cloud lady in an apron. I really didn't like this one. What did you guys think? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Is it the worst?
I think.
What's that?
It was the hardest one, I guess.
I thought it was the hardest one too.
Yeah.
I was glad I only had to draw it for 5 minutes. Does anybody else want to share theirs? You don't have to if you don't want. Yes.
Made a little
There.
lady.
Anna.
Artist. So it looks like a big marshmallow. I don't know.
That's good. Big marshmallow's good. I think you got it all.
You thick flex.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's good.
What did you do?
Let's see, Helen.
I tried to make her hair into clouds. So she's got like a sun and a thunderstorm. You can probably that's better.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
But
nice.
she's busy baking, so she's got her apron on. She's a busy lady.
See, the apron made it kind of funny, right? Like,
Yeah.
like she has long hair, so you kind of immediately go to the idea that it's a woman, just because that's where our brain goes.
That's true, yeah.
Which is silly, but I don't know, just tends to end up that way. And then once you've got long hair and an apron, then you're suddenly like trapped in this idea of creating some sort of domestic.
That's right. I hadn't even thought about that. Just did it automatically.
Yeah. It's the interesting thing about
bizarre.
the prompts. I did the same thing. And it's kind of like they play off of a lot of interesting like preconceptions of everything, gender roles and historical ideas of, you know, like one of them is armor, and I always am drawing sort of the same medieval knight, you know, even though there's a million different kinds of armor. That's like immediately where my mind goes. I don't know, it's really interesting to see
Yeah.
how
And
people kind of settle on
Yeah,
the
how
thing.
conditioned we are. It's I should know better because I'm a tomboy, so you know.
I'm a tomboy too, but I hear apron and long hair, and my powerful cloud goddess becomes like a woman in a kitchen cooking pancakes. Okay, cool. So of these three, hold on, I'm gonna put you guys on the gallery view so I can see everybody. Raise your hand if the first one with the camouflage and the big pants and the male was your favorite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one was my favorite, so I guess 6. Raise your hand if the dog with the flowers was your favorite. A couple people. And then raise your hand if the cloud lady was your favorite. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. Well, I think the male lady won, so I'm gonna, or the male person won, so I'm gonna put that on Instagram. And then if anybody wants to share theirs, they can. I'm gonna put it on Instagram. My Instagram is @Carson Ellis. So I'm gonna post those 3 prompts. I'm gonna post a hashtag so you can add your art to it if you want using that hashtag or not. It's totally up to you. And then for the final one, I'm going to draw 3 more prompts, and you can either do a more finished piece of artwork with those 3 prompts, or you can go back to one of the previous 3 and either flesh out your sketch and make it more finished, or you can redraw it on a different piece of paper and finish it with some color medium or something. Does that sound good? I wasn't going to draw 3 more, but then I was like, what the heck? Might as well. So here are the last 3. Sitting in a chair. This is one of my favorites because I like drawing chairs. One-eyed. So like a cyclops. Wearing stripes. Sitting in a chair, one-eyed, drawing, wearing stripes. And do that as a finished piece, or choose one of the other 3 and start working. What are you guys gonna work in? Does anybody have paint? I think I already asked this.
Color pencils.
Color pencils? All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna draw this one. Actually, I'm gonna post the thing on Instagram, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna draw the one-eyed sitting in a chair wearing stripes. And then I'm actually going to get out my gouache and ink and stuff and paint with it. So I'll point my computer down so you guys can see if you're curious, and I can do a little gouache tutorial. Okay, so I put that up on Instagram and the hashtag is camouflaged in big pants with a letter. And I'm gonna get my gouache and my watercolor paper. I use this big, I'm using a big piece of paper. This nice Arches watercolor, which is good for gouache. And these are pretty messy. My kids, you know, I'm homeschooling my kids now, like most parents are. And so I've been sharing my art supplies with them. They do not go easy on them. They go kind of crazy, but I'm gonna rinse this part out because I'm gonna use it for a palette. I'm gonna take my sketch of this lady and have it kind of on hand. Then because I'm using big paper, I'm gonna use a big brush. I think I'm just gonna start with a like wash of color for her. Hard to get this open under. This is just my laptop like balanced above my paper. I'm going to use this color to kind of map out where this is going and the general composition of it. this medium gouache works a lot like watercolor, as you can see, but it can do things that watercolor can't do. There's the letter. I wish I left more room for it. It's right on the edge of the page. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that question about the prompt. Can someone type on the chat what the last prompt was? In a chair. In a chair. In stripes. One-eyed. You're welcome. What brand of gouache are you using, and what's your process of choosing the color palette for your work? Well, I think the gouache I'm using is Winsor & Newton for the most part. I think there's a couple colors they don't make, like Payne's Gray is a really important color to me. That's a sort of dark bluish, a dark bluish gray that is like the most important color in my palette. They don't make it, I don't know why. They make it in watercolor, but not gouache. So I buy that from another gouache maker. I can't remember who. And I don't know what the process of choosing the palette is, but I do often put this color, what color is it? I think it's raw sienna or maybe burnt umber. Hold on, I'll check. Important. So this color is burnt umber. Oh no, burnt sienna. Never mind, sorry. Yeah. And it's a real warm color and it's kind of light. So you could put it underneath everything. Sometimes I put this color in a really light wash underneath an entire page of watercolor. And that will just give everything this sort of warm tone and tie the colors together, and also make it so that I'm not starting on this. So I'm not starting on this super stark piece of paper, which sometimes I don't like much. And then other than that, I don't know. I used to be someone who was really uncomfortable with color. I didn't use much of it. I tried to keep everything pretty monotone, and I used only earth tones and sometimes like a little pink or something. And I worked that way for years and years. But then I slowly started moving away from it and using more and more color. And now it's like I went from being someone who worked almost only in earth tones to someone who works in kind of like garish palettes. I don't know how I made that shift, but suddenly it's all like magenta and green and stuff like that. But color for me is very intuitive. A lot of the time I'm just sort of putting colors next to each other and seeing if they look good. If I don't like how they look, I'm starting over or I'm painting over them. so much of it is just experimentation and figuring out what's pleasing. Another really, really, really favorite color of mine is this ultramarine blue, which is muddy because my kids have been messing with my paints. It's usually this really electric blue. Do I have a favorite paper or size of paper to work? I used to, when I was in college, I worked on giant canvases. That was what I did. I went to college in Montana, at the University of Montana. And they didn't teach illustration. They didn't even teach drawing. So I didn't have that many options. And I took painting because that was the only option that really seemed to fit. I wanted to be an illustrator, but there was no illustration program, there was no drawing program, there's just painting, sculpture, and printmaking. And of those three things, painting seemed closest to what I wanted to do. So in college, I took painting, and there was a lot of emphasis on making like giant canvases and painting on them. So I worked really big in college. I would build these like massive canvases that were like 4 by 6 feet and stuff. And I didn't love it. It was really unwieldy, and I ended up not really liking painting very much because it was just such a pain in the ass. It was so stinky and toxic, and you had to build the stretchers, which was expensive, and I could never afford the materials, and it just was so much work that I kind of gave it up. And then I started doing illustration work when I was, after I'd been out of college for a bit. And I realized that working big was actually much harder because you had to scan art and provide files for people. So I started working really, really small. I had like a tiny scanner bed, and I just worked never much bigger than what would fit on a scanner. So I made this shift from really big to really little. And now I'm kind of all over the place. I started working on some big paintings again for the first time in like 20 years. It feels great to work big when you've spent 20 years working small. But I like this size a lot. I think this might be, what is this? This is like 16 by 20. And it's really big. Like I feel like I can work big here, but it's still something that fits on a scanner, and I can work. You know, you can't really work very big in gouache because gouache is kind of expensive and it doesn't cover a lot of ground. So if you work big in gouache, you end up spending tons of money and wasting lots of paint. But it also feels nice to be able to make these big washes and these big shapes. So this seems like a good kind of in-between size. I've kind of lost the thread down here with my camouflage thing. I don't know what I'm doing. How are you guys all doing out there? Good.
Doing good.
Good. Oh, I already answered that question. I wish I didn't have to do the camouflage part of this. I feel like I now have to figure out a way to do it, like a design way to approach it. I know. I'm going to do these big pink flowers. That'll be like spots. I'm kind of letting some of them bleed into the background. But like this pink color, I really like the way it looks by itself, and I also like the way it looks over this brown. It kind of tempers it in a nice way. I was going to make this green, these green, but then I realized that that was too much color for me. The green and the magenta. Like I like to use kind of electric colors, but to make sure that they are tempered with lots of earth tones, because that's what keeps it from feeling too garish for me. So the idea is that some of these flowers are on her pants and some of them are in the background. Just to figure out how to show that. I don't really know. Blue I like. Oh, thanks for saying that about the pink and blue and the earth tones. It's such a delicate balance. I feel like that color is always such a delicate balance. It's like a dance where you're pushing it just to the edge of ugly, for me anyway, just to the edge of ugly and garish and too much, and then trying to bring it back with something that feels more neutral. And a lot of the quality of this gouache on this paper that's so lovely, like all of these tones where it's kind of bleeding and diffusing in the water, has to do with this fancy watercolor paper, which I used to just use any old paper. In the beginning, I painted a lot on just found paper and mat board, stuff like that. Stuff that was left over from other projects. But once I started taking paper more seriously, I realized there is a lot of fabulous things that amazing watercolor paper can do that other things cannot. I actually like my sketch better than my color art. I might. So here's where I'm going to come in with a little bit of nib pen ink. And I need a little piece of paper to blot with. Yep. Fake cursive over here. And then the paint up here still hasn't dried. So I'm gonna blot it with this rag. So I can get in here with this. Can you guys see that? I can't see it at all.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. So this is a nib pen, which means I have to dip it in a little well of ink. Old-fashioned kind of pen. But I like the way it looks on top of the gouache. And then while that blue is drying, maybe I go back in with this and draw details in the flowers. How are you guys doing? Are you happily working out there? Are you bored? Are you done? Give me a thumbs up if you're done. See 2 thumbs up for people finished. Give me a thumbs up if you want more time to work. A couple people want more time to work. Haley, what do you think we should do? Should we just keep working for a little bit, or?
Yeah, I think we can. If anyone is done and they want to show us what they've finished, I'd love to see anyone's finished product or progress.
I would too. Any finished people want to share?
Okay, I can share the one sitting on a chair.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah. Then I sketch one. Can you see it?
Hold on, I have to switch to speaker view so I can see it better. Oh, it's good. Good stripes.
Yeah.
I loved drawing people sitting on chairs because I feel like chairs are so weird. They're just like a weird kind of architectural shape that you can throw into any drawing, and it helps the organic shapes of a creature like be framed by something with angles. And I feel like you did a nice job of using it to that effect there.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That looks great.
I did that one too. I did a hipster plankton.
Let's see. Oh!
I love that.
That's awesome. I don't really like my color one. I think I like my pencil sketch more, which happens to me all the time. I think I might be more of a drawer than a painter. I like her from kind of the shoulders up, but this whole camouflage pants thing is really a hot mess. Hard. Well, we've got 12 more minutes, so oh, bye, Amanda. It was nice to have you here. Bye. Nice to meet you.
You all, see you soon, Carson. Bye.
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 Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, so 12 minutes. Let's just like finish up and whoever's still here, if they want to share, share. Huh. I'm so unhappy with this. I'm just gonna mess it up and go crazy and see what happens. sometimes when I really don't like a drawing or painting, and so I'm freed up to do whatever I wouldn't have wanted to do to it before when I liked it because I was feeling precious about keeping it. You know, I feel like sometimes when you make a piece of art, you start out with a vision, like a picture in your head of what you want to make that you're trying to achieve. And sometimes you don't have that vision. And it's almost nicer to not have it because if you don't know what you're trying to do, you are freed up to experiment and try to achieve something that you didn't expect to achieve. I don't know if that's the case with this, but I like it better now that I put brown paint all over it. I like using this big brush. This brown is burnt umber. My favorite brown, and I use it for everything. Brown is such an important color to me, and I feel like it's the thing that I think it's like, you know, it's the color of the earth. It's so warm, and to me, like often the perfect complement to just about any color. I feel like whatever you put the color brown next to, it looks nice. This is my very favorite brown, dark umber, because it's like pretty warm. I hate the bottom half of this so much. I'm wondering if I should just paint brown over the whole thing. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to make this brown nice and dark over here. I'm painting around this letter. a great brush because it's very big, but it has such a fine tip. All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna paint over the whole bottom.
No.
I know it really might be a totally terrible mistake. We're gonna find out. It feels so good to do it though. It feels kind of amazing.
Like, thank you for reminding us not to be precious about it.
Don't be precious about it.
Yeah.
It's not fun. I spend so much time being precious about things. Also, when I'm done teaching these seminars to you guys, I'm going to go work on editorial illustration for a magazine where I can't be, I want to not be precious about it, but the stakes are high and I'm collaborating with an art director, and so I don't get to do something like this because if I mess up, I've wasted a lot of precious time. So when I can just totally mess something up, it feels really nice to do it. Kind of a luxury. I do want to keep this bit of super bright blue down here at the bottom. The other thing that's kind of cool about this paper, I don't know if you guys use watercolor paper, but this is on a block. So it's starting to kind of warp, and because I've added so much water to it, but it is glued down to the pieces of paper underneath it, which keeps it from like curling up completely. Useful. All right, I feel like I've pretty much destroyed mine, but I'm not gonna continue. I think I'm done. And there's areas of it that I like, basically from this up. Oh, it's 9. How are you guys all doing? Does anybody want to share what they did?
Okay. Yes, I want to share.
Let's see.
Okay, this is a cat. He's in prison, so he is eye patch. He's criminal. He's a vintage chair and has gold buttons, but it's not clear here. He wears stripes.
That's good. I did not even think about stripes as being like a prisoner.
Yes, as he is criminal.
Yeah, he looks like a very, very mean guy, very mean cat criminal. That's great. Anybody else want to share? Let's see. Gayla?
I drew this person on this chair nearby, but then I got really distracted by how cool chairs are. So
It's a beautiful chair.
I was like, wow, I don't like this person, but I do love this chair.
Go back to the person again. So there's the person. I like the person.
Oh,
But I
thank
do
you.
actually like the chair drawing better.
Yeah, I'm into the chair.
I am too. The chair has a lot of personality. It's sort of like its own character.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful with all that line work and detail. What's on the pillow?
Oh, it's a pillow that my mom embroidered. It's Peter Rabbit on it.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Your house looks cozy. I like that wood stove.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very cozy. We got a spinning wheel. We got it all.
Oh, good. You're all set up for quarantine crafting.
Yes.
So we're able to leave our houses again. Anybody else want to share? Anybody? I'll share mine. I liked her from like here up with her little letter, but then the camouflage big pants part just got away from me.
I like
The drawing better. Haley, let's
I'll
see.
share mine.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, thanks. I used watercolor. So this was
Yeah.
inspired by one of my favorite shows, which is Pushing Daisies. And so she had an eye patch, so I thought of her. But I like that the chair's like really big.
Mm-hmm. Me
She
too.
gives her a martini too. She's
Yeah.
ready for quarantine.
There's a lot happening in it, but I like it. I like the composition of it. I'm always into like a symmetrical. I like a symmetrical composition that's also wonky. So it's like you get the pleasingness of symmetry, but it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Thanks.
Um,
I'd love to see them all. Who else wants to share?
Nobody asked you.
Okay.
Katya, let's see.
So I took the first prompts. You see,
Yeah.
love
ink
that.
gouache. But I guess the camouflage doesn't really work because of the black pants.
Yeah.
I like the contrast more. So.
I really try to think about the prompts in terms of not being rules, but just prompts. That's what they are. They prompt you to go in this direction or that direction, but they don't have to be rules because the only thing that they're meant to do is to encourage you to do something that maybe you wouldn't think to do normally. So you did probably like her big pants with standing in a little sea of plants is something that maybe you wouldn't have thought to do otherwise, and so you used the prompt. But I wish I hadn't been so literal with that camouflage prompt because I feel like that's what ended up being kind of the downfall of my painting. I kind of want to do it again because I just like her holding the letter. All right. Well, you guys, we've been drawing for 2 hours. It's kind of amazing.
Awesome.
I hope this was fun and not too much like dead air. I hope it was calming and soothing and a nice chance to make art and not a lot of silence. I wasn't sure how to fill the time that we were all drawing. I've never done this before. I've done this before so many times in person, but never on Zoom. It's a little harder when you can't just like ask questions and make people answer you. But I had a nice time.
Yeah.
I hope you guys did too.
I want to thank everyone for joining us today. And if you have time, please join us again at 2 Eastern Standard Time for our puzzle purse making, which is going to be great too.
Yeah, do you want me to quickly show you guys what a puzzle purse is so you can see if it interests you. A puzzle purse is a little elaborately folded note. People made them a lot in the 17th and 18th centuries, and they made them as valentines. So we would learn to fold it and how to paint them. But typically you open them up and then you open them up again, and they have lots of art and stuff on the inside. So you make something like this for someone you love and be like, I really, really miss you. Fold it back up, put it in an envelope, and send it to them. So that's what we'll do. I'll show you guys how to do it if you come back at 2.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for being here. I hope you had fun.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.